Well, hello there, ladies and gents. My name is Tammy Sipnewski. I am your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know this is not financial advice. I am only here to entertain you and to remind you to buy on red candles. I know it's not red. I usually have that red, but you know what? I kind of like the color of this a little better. I think it looks a little nicer. Okay, I know I'm late. But I was actually in a Twitter space speaking with a few different people. And so probably everybody's upset, but I'm sorry. Okay, so what is going on? Of course, you see the name is the Twitter drama and crypto drama. Why does it have to be like this? Why does cryptocurrency have to be such a space that's loaded with people that are so negative and so much drama? It's uncalled for. There's just one rug pull after another. And what we're finding out is a lot of these scams, a lot of these tokens that pop up, they're only there for a few days and then they go dark. And then another token pops up and then it rugs and then it goes dark. It's traced back to a group of people. It seems like there is like a group of people who this seems to be just what they do for a living. They launch tokens, they only survive for a couple of days, and then they rug and then they're out. So right now there's a group of people over on Twitter, and you guys know I always talk about them. Skywalker, Tequila Pete, Sir Crypto, like these guys know their stuff. And when they're on you, they're going to find you. Don't think that they're not going to pull up all the stakes that they have and go after you. So right now, good evening. What's up, Eddie? Thank you so much for, yes, please, everyone, smash that like button if you wouldn't mind. It would help me in the algorithm, which I suck in the algorithm because I've really not been doing good. So, on a personal note, today is the second anniversary that my mom passed away. So this whole week has just been crap for me. You know, it's a difficult thing to lose any parent, but there is something special about mothers, and it was a tough blow to lose her. And the way I lost her was just terrible. But 2 years ago, it just seems like it was yesterday. It's so hard to believe that that was 2 years ago. And of course, another thing I talked about, Bitcoin, and why I think that this is not the bottom. And all you need to do is check out the macroeconomics. Now, macroeconomics, these are indicators about the economy in general. You know, like when you go to the gas pump, when you go to the food store, what's your paycheck, all of this has to do with macroeconomics. I don't need any report generated by the government to tell me that inflation is high and that we're in a recession. I don't need that. You know why? Because I go shopping for myself. I see the price of things. I can tell. Gas is extraordinarily high. Yes, there are many factors, not just macroeconomics, that dictate that. World problems, the war in Russia and Ukraine, global warming or climate change, whatever you want to call it, all of these things factor in. I don't think that, I know we're in a little bit of a turnaround when it comes to the cryptocurrency market. I think we're sitting in the middle of a bull trap, meaning that I think the market is going to continue in a downtrend, and we're just having a nice little uptick right now. So when you look at red candles, they're never red candles straight down. There's red candles mixed in with green candles, mixed in with more red candles. That's just the cycle. You never see anything with just greens or just reds, right? It's always up and it's always down. Now, one of the reasons, what's up, way better? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, it's just looking at the market. We know that Bitcoin has some support there in the $11,000 area. And I've been saying this now for about 2 months that I think Bitcoin is going down to 11,000. Now, this is not saying that it's not going to rebound a little bit, maybe, fool you a little bit, could even go up to 25, but I think inevitably it is going to come down to 11,000. And the reason that I think that is because we are just dipping our toe into this bad economy. Economies don't just turn around in a couple of months. It takes a lot of work, by the president, by the government, by local governments to start turning the economy as a whole around. It's not something that you just snap your fingers and you can fix. That's not how that goes. There's a lot that has to be changed. The supply chain needs to be fixed. That's like the biggest problem right there. If you don't have the goods that you need to sell, you can't sell them, right? You can't go someplace and purchase wood to build a deck if there's no wood. It's like a whole chain of things. But the reason that I think that on top of the bad economy and people just starting to realize the economy is bad because not everybody even wants to admit we're in a recession. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to wait and see what the report says." Well, okay, you do that. Meanwhile, I'll go to Target and buy a $12 12 pack of Coca-Cola, which is ridiculous. That's vending machine prices right there. But when you think of how much Bitcoin is about to hit the market because it's going to get liquidated. We're not talking about a little bit of Bitcoin. We're talking about Bitcoin that's coming off of platforms like Celsius, like Voyager, Three Arrows Capital, like all of this Bitcoin. And don't forget the Mt. Gox Bitcoin is going to be coming out. All of that's going to hit the market. People are going to dump it. And that is really going to pull down the price of Bitcoin. So if you're hoping that this is it, Bitcoin is, had a nice bounce, don't let it fool you. If you want to go all in on Bitcoin, I would dollar cost average that baby. I wouldn't blow your whole entire bag right now. I would invest a little and continue to invest until we do find that bottom. Like I said, I think it's going to bottom out at 11,000. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. I'm probably not, but I could absolutely be wrong. So what is the situation in the crypto drama? So as you know, there are people in the Twitter space and YouTube space that really hate the queen. I don't know why they hate the queen. Well, I know why they hate the queen. Because I don't flirt with them. Is like the basic reason. And when I say that, you think that I'm cocky and that I'm, full of myself. But I promise you, that's exactly the reason why some of these people go after me because I won't bend the knee and be flirty with them and, wink at them and be nice to them and ultimately bend the knee. I refuse to do it. And that's why a lot of these people are coming after me. You guys know who I'm talking about. What is up, Frosty Dog? Thank you so much for popping by the channel. They're trying to take down my YouTube channel. So you know who. I don't even want to say the name because sometimes that guy's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name a couple of times, boom, he appears. But he's trying actively to get my YouTube channel taken down. He's got a video out there saying, "Hey, this is how you can report these people, report them to YouTube. Let's try to get their channels taken down because they're pump and dumpers." And I've never been a part of a pump and dump with the exception. And I always am very honest with this, the whole Strange Inu thing. I didn't financially benefit from that. I did promote that cryptocurrency. It did rug. I didn't know it was going to rug. I promoted it early and thank you so much, Way Better, for that 1999 bomb. Let's see what you're glowing tonight, Tammy. Something special about to happen in your life. I don't think maybe it's the white shirt, but no, I don't think so. Florida driving. Okay, hold on. Let's see. What will happen? I have a question. What will happen to my Spark tokens when they are airdropped since the bankruptcy was filed first? I'm not familiar with Spark token. Is that a typo? I don't think I've ever talked about a Spark token. Thank you so much for the $20 bomb. Way Better. I appreciate it. Of course, Way Better was the winner of the Saitama V3 NFT. Congratulations. You get that 1% booster. So another thing about Saitama V3, like they're seriously trying to say that this thing is a scam and that it's a rug pull. It is not a scam. It is not a rug pull. It is a legitimate investment that I'm holding. I haven't sold not a single token of mine, and they just don't like it. They really just don't like it. I'm going to try to pull up the chart. It did go down significantly because it was so great. Now, as we know, I don't have to tell you guys, I made the video about this when it was at a nickel. Okay. It was at a nickel, and I released the video, and a lot of people got into it at a nickel. And congratulations if you did. I hope you took profits, because I always tell you guys, take your profits. Do you remember when the whole Strange Inu thing was happening? We talked about it very early, and the chart started to go up and up and up. And I'm like, listen, people, don't get wrecked in this token. Take out your initial investment along with your profits and leave behind a moon bag, but definitely take out your profits. That's what you're supposed to do. And what happened? People, they, instead of just taking their, well, I actually don't think it was any of my subscribers. I think it was people that were not my subscribers who invested in Strange Eno. And because I was one of the influencers who spoke about it, they kind of threw me in with the thing. But I don't think those people watch my channel, because if they did, they would have seen me yelling at the camera saying, if you don't take profits here, then you're the R word. And of course I used the R word. I did. But Flare token. Flare token? I've never heard of Flare token. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Yeah, so Saitama V3, it's hard to see the chart of Saitama V3. I took my initial investment and still have the rest in my bag. Yeah, so in Saitama V3, listen, this thing launched at 0.00055. It launched freaking early. Now, all of the people that got in before a penny, they had already 1,000x'd. There were a lot of people that took profits there, but there weren't. There were some people that held. They held from all of that way to $1. Now, one of the guys I happen to know, his name is Alan. I don't want to talk about his last name because I don't want you guys to go, beefing with him on Twitter. But he was on a Twitter space bragging that he had at the time 25 separate cells of Saitama V3. And when he was selling, it was like half an ETH at a time. So he took a lot of money out of that project, just him. I mean, he was like the only one that really talked about it, but there were other people in here that were making mass bank in this, a lot of money. And the reason that I know this is because when I got in at a nickel, I felt like it was kind of late, but I figured, I didn't know that this thing would go to $1. When it hit like 65 cents, I was thinking after that, I'm like, this thing could push to $1. And the very next day it did. It pushed to $1. You have to be smart and take your initial investment out along with your profits. Because if you don't do that, the people who have the jump on you will, and you're going to lose your opportunity of doing that. Don't let anybody else do that to you. When you see an area of where you can take your profits, I would 100%, and I always say it, make sure you take out your initial investment along with a profit. The top wallet sold more than 40 times. Which top wallet? Because I'm gonna pull up Etherscan right now and show you exactly where that's not true. Okay, so let me go to, I have to dump this screen out. Well, let me go to holders, because the top wallet really hasn't sold anything. Let me get to Etherscan. Okay, so here we are. Oh, let me get rid of my picture. So here are the wallets, okay? These are the holder wallets, and of course, the tippy top wallet is the Uniswap wallet. That's where all of the tokens are held. They're held on Uniswap. I think Maddie's talking about this wallet. So we will go over to this wallet and see what Maddie's talking about. Okay, so Maddie, do you see all of that, honey? Can you see the screen? Can you see all of this? Do you know what this is? Do you read Etherscan? Because you know what, guys, it's no, listen, there's no shame in not knowing how to read Etherscan, but if you're going to be in crypto, I would suggest that you do try to learn something about Etherscan and how to read it. This way you have an understanding. Like Maddie, he can see exactly what is going on here. So this is the Tippy Top wallet. It was the number one investor. And do you see where it says all of this out, 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 out? If you're just like a regular person and you're looking at that out, you might think, that guy sold. That person just kept selling and dumping and selling and dumping and selling. But if you see here, it says transfer. And then you see his address, and then you see all of these other addresses. That was the top wallet sending tokens to other people. He was sending tokens to other people. He wasn't selling them. He was sending people that were telling him stories like, oh man, like I got wrecked in Saitama V1. V2 never sent me my tokens, and I don't think they're going to send me my tokens because they've declared me a dust wallet. That guy, that top wallet that has been the top wallet this whole entire time, has not sold once at all. Not one single time did he sell. And you can clearly see it on Etherscan. Like this is it. As a matter of fact, look, he even bought more 3 days ago. But you can see, I mean, well, he's bought more all along the way, but this is him transferring to different wallets. Boom. Now let's go look at another wallet. But I mean, Maddie, you're right. Look, some of the top wallets, these are regular average people. And by the way, I will say this, I still don't think that Etherscan is right because there, can you see this where it says dead, the null address, the dead wallet? There's like 43,000 tokens in that wallet. And up here, it's still showing as the max supply is 1 million. And there really is not 1 million supply anymore. It needs to take into consideration those burn tokens, and it's not. Oh, thank you for the $20 bomb. This is Eugene from the Crypto Lottery Group. Thank you, Eugene. Hi, Tammy. I do believe it's the same group of people that creates scam tokens. Creating and marketing a token is expensive. Scammers use the profit from one scam token to promote their new scam token. And you are 100% right. And yeah, like it's unbelievable. It's these people are stealing money from people that are hardworking people, and it scares a lot of people out of the DeFi space. And that's not what we want. What we want and really need is adoption in cryptocurrency. But the DeFi space is so janky. And Maddie, I'm 100% going to tell you I actually know who the top wallet holder is, and it's not true. He's not sending them to his friends. He may have sent tokens to people that he knows that probably deserve it, because he knows a lot of the Saitama V1 people, like a lot of them. But he's given those tokens to people that came to him or were in the Telegram chat saying that, like, I really got wrecked in Saitama. And if I didn't know this person specifically, I don't blame you guys for not believing, because this space has gotten so freaking shady, you can't trust anybody. You really can't. Like Maddie said, there is no friends in crypto. There really is not. Like, it is the Wild West out there, and you feel like no one's got your back. Everybody's either looking to slander you, they don't understand what it is you're trying to do, or they're trying to report your YouTube channel for being a rug person. Like, I am not a rug person. That chick, that crypto queen that was the rug person, made away with like $4 billion. She's on the FBI's most wanted list. So yeah, that's not me. But I do appreciate the $20 bomb, Eugene. And of course, Eugene, we had him on for an AMA. He's the guy that has the lottery group in cryptocurrency. If you now, Eugene, how much is it of your token now that somebody has to buy into in order to participate with the yearly drawings? So, the gist of that crypto lottery is that you buy the token, and this guy goes out and he spends money on the all those big lottery games, Cash for Life, Powerball, all the big ones, and he stamps it with the crypto lottery group. So if you win, everybody that's a holder, I think at a certain portion is going to be able to participate in the winnings, which is freaking how awesome is that? Seriously. Maddie's saying 13 billion. Is that the crypto lottery group number? How you know that, Maddie? But Matt, you understand that the chart is not wrecked. I know, look, I know, oh crap, I took it down. It when you're looking at the candles, it looks bad, but don't forget it launched at 0.00055. So when it comes to percentages, it's still way, way up. It's still way, way up. Now, people that bought in, we always say don't get caught up in the FOMO, right? Don't get caught up in the FOMO. And, there are people that bought in at like $1. That was their initial investment at $1. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is buying this at $1? Like, I do understand at that point, it seemed like an unstoppable train. And it could have been, it really could have been, but the amount of FUD that the token received was just unbelievable, like completely unbelievable, unwarranted. And all of it was because of the name Saitama. It took a lot of heat because they named it Saitama V3, but there was a specific reason why they named it Saitama V3 to get attention. They used that rage marketing thing and it worked. There were a lot of eyes on the token. If that was named any other token, if it was help you make your money back from scam token, nobody would have looked at it. If it was anything else, it wouldn't have gotten the traction that it had gotten. But because it was named Saitama V3, eyes were on it. So it worked in two ways, right? It helped to market and promote the token, and ultimately it helped to take it down. But it's not down because anybody like me who bought their bag and continued to buy even as the chart went up, I continued to make buys as the chart went up. Now, when it hit $1, I was like, damn, like I could sell right here. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sell right here because I don't need the money. There are people in V1 that got completely wrecked and they're making their money here. I don't want to sell my tokens and take money out of the liquidity that could go to somebody else. And I don't want to participate in that because number one, my wallet is public. So, if I sold any tokens at a V3, they would have had an argument saying, look, she dumped on you. Look what she did to you. She dumped on. I'm like, nah. First of all, I don't need the money. Two, I don't need to hear it. I'm just going to let it ride. And I'm getting USD sent to my wallet yes, it is USDC, every single day. Every single day, I get money, free money sent to my wallet. It's like over $100 now at this point. Just in reflections. It's money. It's not the token. It's real money. So Maddie's saying they asked for it. No. It didn't rug. It didn't rug. It's still way up. Remember, it launched at 0.00055. And right now, I think it's at 9 cents right now. Let me look at the chart again. Yep, it's sitting at 9 cents. So considering where it launched, it's still way up. So let me see. John Thompson, hello, Queen, just catching up. 1 a.m., one video behind. Keep coming after those scam tokens. We need you. Yeah, there is drama going on over at on Twitter regarding these projects. Now, they're on it. I asked Tequila Pete last week, maybe the week before, if he would like to come on the channel to discuss it, like some of the different scam tokens that are out there and how they're connected to, believe it or not a very wide circle of people. It's not. It's a handful of people that one after another keep creating these scam tokens, and they are ruining the DeFi space for all of us. I think, I'm Miss USA. I believe in freedom of everything. I don't like regulations, but when it comes to the DeFi space, I say I'm regulation light, and I hope the government can do it. I want regulations in order to stave off the scammers. And if they can get busted, bust them, hold them accountable 100%. But let's not go crazy with going overboard and just ruining the whole space. Because after all, this was meant to be decentralized. Bitcoin was made to be peer to peer digital cash. And that's what cryptocurrency is supposed to be. We should be able to use this as digital cash. But I have a fear that if the government steps in, that's going to be an issue. What is this, another $20 bomb? Thank you very much, Eugene. Tammy is the only YouTuber that doesn't engage in pay to play. I really don't understand how they hate you. Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate that. Yep. Eugene knows. He came on my channel, and I gave him an AMA, and I didn't charge him anything. I think that people, I think they think that, and of course, this is just hearsay because I can't be in these people's minds. I don't really know what they think, but I think they believe that I take money to promote certain tokens, and it's just not true. It's just not true. And a lot of the tokens that if I do take money, I'm very upfront and I tell you about it. Hey, I was compensated to make this video. Like the whole thing with Pixel. I'm an investor in Pixel. I wasn't paid to do the AMA with them, and people are saying, oh, you're a rug queen because of Pixel, or you're a rug queen because of HospoWise. Ooh, HospoWise. That's one that rugged. And you might remember that I had the developer on after it rugged so that I could yell at him about why he was using a third-party coder. So his name is Quinn, and he launched HospoWise along with the team of devs. And the coder that they use, their contract developer, was a third-party guy. People had only ever talked to him on the phone. Nobody met with this guy face to face. Sure enough, he screwed everybody, made a backdoor into the token. Well, when I say backdoor, there was a mint function left in the contract, which should have been found with an audit. And as soon as the token launched, he minted a bunch of extra tokens, sold them, dumped all the liquidity, and split. And there you go. That was the end of that. Then they were supposed to relaunch as it was called Xenia. Now, since I had Quinn on for that post-rugging, rake him over the coals AMA, because I went at him pretty hard, because Quinn had been in the space for a long amount of time. It's not like he shouldn't have known that that was going to happen. After all the rugs he has seen, he's not going to get a coder that he knows personally, somebody that he sees face to face. And if something goes wrong, he can say, that's the guy who stole the tokens. Like, he should have known. Eugene with another super chat. Thank you very much. Charge me absolutely zero. That is right. Yeah, way better. I'm upset about that too. Oh, wait a second, Maddie. I do want to read what you're going to say, but I want to finish my story. So that happened. Then he wanted to make a second project called Xenia, and he has my phone number, so he would text me and call me about doing an AMA for Xenia. Now, I started to get a bad feeling about it, and I was like, you know what? People already sit there and call me the rug queen. I don't trust him enough to not do what stupid Coyote Coin did. Remember Coyote Token or Coyote Coin? What they did, they got rugged twice in a row. I'm like, I don't know if I trust Quinn this much to give him that space. I don't want my subscribers to watch this AMA and then he gets rugged again and then my people get hurt. I don't want to do it. So I just stopped communicating with them because I didn't know them an explanation. I just decided to not do it, right? They wanted to do an AMA where they came out to my house. Like they wanted to do a sit down interview style type of AMA where it was very formal and we were all face to face. Like he thought that would lend credibility to him and what he was looking to do in Xenia, but I shot it down. So meanwhile, we know that they had gotten their contract done through Shibnobi software, right? And I know that because Quinn told me that. And they had a good contract, but they couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted to buy in because you rug me once, kind of like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. They never could get that thing off the ground. The only way that they could have gotten that thing off the ground was if they had replenished the liquidity that was stolen themselves. And they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to say, I take responsibility. Okay, I lost 80,000 of the investors' money and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make this right. I'm going to take a mortgage out of my house or do whatever it is that you need to do to make it whole and right. Or stealth launch your token and put front run that baby with a bot that when it goes to sell, it takes a 99% tax. Like a lot of tokens do that, right? They plan on launching their tokens, but they stealthily launch it to take advantage of those nasty MEV bots, right? And that happens. That's a thing. He could have made some money back that way, but he didn't want to do it. So listen, that's the story. So if you see Xenia is going to launch anywhere, I don't think that it is. I think he's out of the space. I think people are onto him because they were starting tracking wallets and stuff, and it looks like he might be connected to something else that they were saying. So that's really not good. So let me see what Maddie said here. Thing is, you and Sandstorm Fun was shill 2 token that do same thing, and you don't think people ask questions. I'm going to have to read that again because hold on a second. Thing is, you and Sandstorm Fun was shill 2 token that do same thing and you don't think people ask questions. Matt, I want to answer you, but I don't understand what that means. Fun was shill 2 token. Matt, if you can maybe reword it, I definitely will address it. Yeah. Remember when that happened, Maddie? Oh, Eugene with another $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Based on my research, majority of the scam devs live overseas. To combat rugs, all devs have to be fully doxed, not just KYC'd. No dox dev days are over. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? That would be great. That would be wonderful. Yeah, and that's true too, right? Like everybody knows the financial risks with investing in tokens but still it doesn't make it right with these rugs. Like even though tokens rug pull, you still can if you degen a play into them, you still can make a lot of money. If you get in at the right time and you get out at the right time, there's still money to be made. Look how many people, I had Brie on my channel a few months ago when we were doing the Ladies in Crypto night. Oh, that was a fun one. And she had gotten into Yacht Club Inu when it had just launched, and it did like a 20,000x, and she made tens of thousands of dollars. And of course, we all know where Yacht Club Inu is. And the funny thing is, Yacht Club Inu, I saw a tweet from Yacht Club Inu that's it is a rug, right? I shouldn't say rug because it's not like the developer rugged it. It's just everybody bought it as a degen play and then dumped it. And that was it. There's no liquidity in there. He's like, hey, you're not going to believe this. Hey, we're launching our sister token. And I was like, launching your sister token? You've got to be kidding me. Why don't you try to fix your existing token first? Try to fix that. Remember Sharky token? Remember the guys from Sharky? I yelled at them and they were all angry with me and they all came on the chat and they were yelling and screaming at me because if there's one thing that I despise, it's when developers launch their token and they have all of this free advertising available to them, like Twitter and Telegram and YouTube, and they don't utilize it. They don't tweet. They're never in their Telegram. You just see a bunch of bot activity in Telegram. It's just like a bunch of GIFs and the chart posted every now and then. That's just lazy. If you're not going to work for your token, I know that that project is done. Poof, kapoop, bye. You're not going to do anything. If you're not using that in the early days of the token, you're not going to sustain a month or 2, 3 months down the road. That's not going to be there. So immediately when I see a token launches and I'm in the launch and I'm excited about it and I tweet about it, if I see that dev is not working for the token, then I'm dumping it because I'm like, nope, this guy's a lazy guy. He's not working. I'm out. I'm done. I can't stand that. Do you work in law or cryptocurrency? Well, I personally invest in cryptocurrency, but like law, nope. Hey, I was married to an attorney, if that counts. That's the ex. Maddie's drunk. Okay, he's gonna say you and Sandstorm had a video came out same day. Moonwise, that token do same thing as Saitama V3. Oh, Matt, it's so funny you bring that up because remember I was just talking about the devs that don't work. That's one of the devs I'm talking about. I got into that thing very early, and like I say, I try to put out my videos as early as I can, but if you want to keep up with what I'm doing the second I do it, you need to follow me on Twitter because the minute I found out about Moonwaves, boom, I put out the tweet and I'm like, hey guys, get into Moonwaves. This looks good. And of course, it went up like 800% or something. Let me pull up that chart. Hold on. But first I got to go to Twitter because I don't know their contract address. I always just bounce off of everything from the website. So at Moonwaves. Yeah, I saw that guy was not tweeting. Like, let me share. Hold on a second. And can you see this? Well, let me get rid of my picture. What's today's date? The 20th. Look at this tweet is from 2 days ago. And this was one day. I mean, the first day. And then look at me. I had a thing here posting how many Luna tokens that I earned. And that's it. And then he reposted some of my tweets. Don't be lazy. Work for your token. Why is it that somebody that's an investor winds up putting out more tweets in like the first hour than you do? It's ridiculous. So the minute I saw that he was not going to work, I basically, well, when the token was like way, way high, oh, what's up, Sherry? Oh, so funny. Sherry, I hope you don't mind me saying this. I got into that Moonwave token so early. It was like monopoly money. I put in 1 BNB and at one time I had like 12 BNB from the token. But I'm the kind of person that I don't want to just dump the 12 BNB and hurt the project, right? Like even though I'm not crazy about this dev, I wouldn't want to do that to the project. So I wound up giving Sherry a bunch of tokens and then like I just have the rest in my wallet because what they do is they burn. So let me pull up the chart. Hold on a second. They burn off Luna token. So what's going to happen is they're getting on this list for approved tokens for the Luna people to buy. This way, number one, it's going to burn off Luna Classic, which we know how the lunatics are about, burning off the Luna Classic token. And you also get Luna in Reflections. So I haven't checked my wallet lately, but the first day that the token launched and you see this great big green candle, I had made like $10 in Luna Classic token. But then, of course, it goes down because people like me that got in super early, they bought like one BNB, they dumped it. They dumped it because some people, honestly, they just don't think like I think. They don't care about hurting the project. They just do what they want to do for the money. They're degens and they're there to just make money for themselves. But guys, this is why we're here in cryptocurrency, right? We're here to make money, and that's all that it is. Everybody's in crypto to make money, and that's the only reason. Why else would you be here if not to make money? So with the Moonwave token, because I pop into their Telegram every now and then, and they're getting on this stupid list for the approved for Luna Classic people to buy. So they're going to get on that list. So supposedly it's going to pump the token. But listen, the dev hasn't tweeted about it. So why would I even want to believe that? You know what I'm saying? Another reason why people hate me, and this is a true story. Oh, somebody's saying, yeah, Luna R is another one that burns. Hey, Jocelyn. Very true. Marketing is so important. What's up, John Patrick? Marketing is so important. I'm the woman that goes into these Telegram groups and I get kicked out because I yell at the devs. I'm like, why are you just sitting here? Number one, sometimes they're not in Telegram, and sometimes they're camped out in Telegram. And I'm like, you need to get new investors. You're not going to get them in Telegram. Telegram is where investors go to hang out and learn new news and keep up to date about the project. You're preaching to the choir here. If you want your chart to be sustainable, you have to bring in new holders. And the only way to do that is by putting the word out there, by being on Twitter. That's where all the new people are. In Telegram, that's your existing people. Yeah, it's good to pop in there to stay in touch with the community and be grateful and, show your gratitude that these people have invested in your project. But don't camp out in there. You have to get new investors or your chart is going to go to shit. And I hate to say it. No, I can't say it. No. But what I think he thought was going to happen was he thought when I bought into the project and I put out a couple tweets, I think that dude thought that I was going to tweet all day and night about that Moonwave token. Did he think I was going to do that? Maybe he did. I don't know. But like, I certainly am not going to do that. I did it with Saitama V3 because I knew that chart was going to go up and I knew there was money to be made in it. And I knew that those USDC rewards are great. If you're just holding it, they automatically show up in your wallet. It's beautiful. So I haven't sold not a token. And my wallet, very public. People look at it all the time. Oh, here's a long one. What's up, Dow? Koma Inu has the opportunity to moon because it won the voting poll on Crypto Whales Group. Really, it did. The thing is, I'm not sure if the admins are reaching out to Crypto Whale admin. A waste if they're not. Totally. What's up, Dave? Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Billy Crypto. Yeah, so I am that person that goes into the Telegram groups and I'm like, "You need to get on Twitter. What are you doing camped out in here? You got your bum parked in here and you're not bringing in new investors. You have to go market your token or else the chart is gonna go down." So you know what happens to me? I get kicked out of the Telegram groups nonstop all of the time. Another token that I went in there and I yelled at them because I'm like, "This is BS, what's going on here," was Royal Pay. They kicked me out of their Telegram group. Um, sh Volt Nobi kicked me out of their Telegram group. I'm trying to remember who else. A bunch of tokens have kicked me out because I have Sharky. Maybe Sharky didn't kick me out. Coyote Coin kicked me out. Yeah, so the Coyote Coin thing, Matt was right. What? My fund was buy Nancy Pelosi stock in the morning and made money today. Oh, is that the computer chip stock that her husband bought? I mean, when you think of it, all of that stuff is public knowledge, right? So people get on Nancy Pelosi for stuff like that, but all of these deals, they're public knowledge, so anybody could take that and make money too. Not that I listen, I'm not a fan of Nancy Pelosi, but so the Coyote Coin, yes, it was an inside job. That's another AMA that I had with the developers. There was like 4 of those dudes sitting on my channel, all 4 of them. Now they were doing a relaunch because their first token, their first launch rugged. It rugged. They got hit with a malicious bot, and I don't know how, but it stripped out all the liquidity. They had to do a relaunch. I got in to the relaunch. I had the devs on for an AMA because I wanted to make sure that this was going to be a safe launch. I asked, and I have the AMA still posted because there's currently litigation going on with Coyote Coin from the investors. And one of the girls that's involved with the lawsuit, she's like, "Your video is going to be evidence." She's like, "Because everything you asked and they answered is so freaking incriminating how they lied." And she's like, it's amazing." So they were all sitting here on my channel. And the thing that I was very specific about was, who wrote your smart contract? Oh, this guy named Bullish. Bullish is our dev. And I'm like, "Oh, so you know Bullish?" "Yes, we know." I'm like, "Wait a minute. You know Bullish as in if something happens here, the project rugs, you know where to send the cops to get Bullish." And they're like, "Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep." I'm like, "Okay, so everybody, they were there with their faces." I'm like, "So everybody's doxxed and everything." "Yep, yep, yep." What happened? It launched. It launched. And by the way, their contract was audited by Certic. So they're saying, "Hey, Certic audited our smart contract and it got a great high score. It passed. It's awesome. It's beautiful." And they rugged. They rugged because Certic had warned them that there's a mint function in your contract. And they're like, "Yeah, but we need that because we're going to bridge over here. We might have to mint to go on the ERC20, like all of this stuff." This freaking guy, Bullish, they never knew him. He was recommended to them by someone, but they never met the guy. They never saw his face. They don't have any information on him. So when they came on the channel and said, "Yes, we're all doxxed," that was a big lie. Number 1 lie. Number 2, when I asked, "Okay, so you know where to send the cops if it should rug?" Yes, that was a lie. So I feel like either one. Oh, and by the way, that guy threatened to sue me because when I made the live stream the night that it rugged, I said, "I kind of feel like they're all in on it at this point because they got up and lied so much." Not one of them said, "Oh, by the way, listen, Tammy, I know he's saying he's doxxed and maybe he's doxxed to him, but I don't know him." That would have been the right time for those other developers to stand up and say, "He's not doxxed to me. Maybe he's doxxed to this guy, but I don't he's not doxxed to me. I don't know him." That would have been a red flag for investors to say, "Why isn't he doxxed to the entire team?" That would have been pertinent information for the investors to know. That would have been huge. That would have, had I known that Bullish was not doxed at all to anybody, I wouldn't have invested in the project. Because number one, the most infallible thing that goes wrong with cryptocurrency when it's rugged is the contract is bad. And it's bad because usually somebody on the team has made it bad. There's a backdoor, there's a mint function, there's some way to exploit that smart contract. And it's always, always, always the contract dev. If you want to make a legitimate cryptocurrency, and there's definitely ways to do it. There's 100% way that you can make a good smart contract that's going to be good for the investor and safe for the investor. Why don't people just do it? I don't understand why these projects launch and they don't make it so that it's safe. Why? Like, there is a lot of money to be made in cryptocurrency when you're a legitimate project. There's just as much money to make in cryptocurrency when you're a legitimate project compared to if you're a rug pull. You can make just as much money with a good project as you can with putting out a rug pull. So I don't understand why people don't. Wouldn't they want the gravitas and the glory of having a kick-ass cryptocurrency, like standing up on the stage with, Richard Hart and all those guys going, yeah, man, I made a great smart contract. My project is awesome. And this is what's going on. And, we're leading the way into the future because let's not be mistaken. Cryptocurrency is 100% the future. It just definitely is. Money is going to be a thing of the past. Physical money is going to be a thing of the past. Look how money has evolved throughout, since human beings began to barter, right? There was no money. There was just people bartering. And then they came up with a monetary system of goods, and then they made it into gold and silver or gems. And then that turned into paper money. And, our nickels and dimes and quarters and dollar coins were all silver. That's why they were worth $1, because it was literally $1 worth of silver. That's why if you find old dimes and old nickels and stuff, keep them. Look and see if that has that little copper red line in there. It's silver. It's worth money. You could go and sell it for silver. But that changed. We went off the gold standard in the 70s and it's been downhill ever since. Now they're just printing money like crazy. Where does it end? At some point, there has to be, all of that has to come to a screeching halt because the system has become unsustainable. They're printing so much money, it's basically valueless. And that's why we have the inflation that we have today. Now, if you're a real scholar of history, people will say that, let's talk about Nazi Germany. Yes, they were defeated by all of the Allies. Wonderful, great. But there was chinks in the armor in their economic system because Hitler was just printing money. He didn't understand economics, macroeconomics. He didn't get how it worked. So he was literally just running the printing press all day long for money, 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 money. And the value of their money just was like nothing. That's why they had so much problems. And then they got to the point where, they just made stupid decisions. Thank God they made stupid decisions. I feel like God stepped in and made that happen. Yes, he sue you, LOL. Then he opened books, show what their fun was scam. Yeah. Yeah, he did. You know why he threatened to sue me? And it was so weird because I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning because I had to catch a flight. I was flying out to go to Florida to take my dad to his chemotherapy treatment. And I opened up Telegram and there's a thing from him saying, I'm going to sue you for what you said on your live stream, how we were all in on it, and you doxed me. And I was like, I doxed him? I'm like, this guy, he's doxed. Like he was on my channel. I looked at the or maybe I made that one private. Maybe it's not. I have it. I didn't erase it. I might have made, yeah, I made that live stream that night that after they rugged, I made it private because in the comment section, somebody did dox him. They put his name, they put his address. Like, I'm not down with that. No, I don't want anybody going to somebody's house and causing physical harm. Like, that's not, no, no, thank you. I'm not down with that. So yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, right. That's what a lot of people say, right? Like, if you sue them, then you have a chance to get them under oath and ask them questions that they have to answer. But the thing is, it's easy for people to say that, right? It's easy. I would get them to crack open the books, but you realize that having a halfway decent attorney, and like I said, I was married to an attorney, they make like $500 an hour. And that would be endless hours of deposing people and looking at their books and forensically analyzing them. Like, I don't want to spend that kind of money on Coyote Coin when I only invested 3 BNB in the pre-sale. But this is when BNB was at $400. So, okay, I need my nose drops, people. So I'm going to mute the microphone and dip off screen for a second. That bottle was empty. I had to go get another bottle. I know, honey. I know. I'm almost done. You, my pretty little lady. So, yes, now there could be another scam cooking, but I don't want to say 100% that it definitely is, but there definitely is drama brewing over on Twitter. That's why I was late getting into the space. I was on a Twitter space and I was listening to Nicole speak. Skywalker was speaking, and they got into this token. I don't even want to say the name of it. Should I say the name of it? I don't know. What happened was last week we were on a Twitter space and this guy stepped up and he's like, I came into your room because I inherited this project and, I think it's really good and I'm trying to make it into a DAO. So Nicole, Skywalker, Sir Crypto, Tequila Pete, they all went over there to check out the guy's project. And they're like, you understand that this is not a DAO. Like a DAO, people can vote and decide how the token is going to go. And he's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, that's not how this smart contract is not written like that. He's like, but it is a DAO because people get to vote in a Twitter space and then I go with what they vote. They're like, yeah, but that's not a DAO. Like with a DAO, it's written into the smart contract and nobody's allowed to hold a certain portion of the tokens. Like it's pretty much split up pretty evenly. There's not one person that can dictate the vote because they have more tokens than everybody else. So Sir Crypto went in there to buy it and he's like, there's a front run bot in here. Like, that's not good. I'll tell you right now that you having a front run bot in here is not good. And the guy's like, well, it's not my bot, but I like it there because it brings in volume. And they're like, whoa, that's a red flag. No legitimate dev wants their contract to be botted because it bleeds profits from the actual holders. Yeah, it does bring in volume. Yeah, but at what cost? Wouldn't you rather build a legitimate project and bring the volume in legitimately and not have this stupid bot? So he said it wasn't his bot, but then he's like, "Okay, I'm going to turn the bot off for you." And they're like, "You just said it wasn't your bot." So they were talking after a while, and they were giving him good advice and good pointers. So a couple days later, I went to his Telegram. I'm like, "Hey, I hope you took to heart what they were telling you, because they're really OGs in this space. They want to help you. They want, your project to succeed, the investors to succeed, and they're looking to make this space safer." And he's like, out of nowhere, he's like, "I had to relaunch. That thing got," I can't remember what he said, "exploited on the back end." He's like, "And I think it was your friends." So he was accusing Tequila Pete, Skywalker, Nicole, and Sir Crypto of hacking his smart contract or exploiting it in some fashion, and that they took advantage of it. And I'm like, "No, no, no." I'm like, "Listen, don't say that. Please don't say that, because these people are really OGs in the space. And if you start shredding their name, like, dude, they're going to come after you 100%. They're going to come after you." And I'm like, "First of all, it's not cool that they came, we're going to help you." Nicole said she drove someplace to get her computer so she could look into the guy's and help this guy. Like, she went way out of her way to help this guy. And not only did he not freaking appreciate it, but now he's accusing her of malfeasance. So anyway, I don't want to say the name of the project because I can't say if it's true or not. Although if Nicole is saying it, I mean, I'm just saying it's probably true. Um, that it could be a bad project to be invested in, but I don't want to say what it is because I don't know a lot of the story. I only know what I know, and that's that they're looking into it. And so far, it doesn't look too good because the guy does have a criminal history. He's been arrested a few times, drug trafficking. There's some fraud on there. Like, it's not looking good for this person. And so I don't want to tell you what it is, but it's a very small token. I think there's only like 50 people that are involved, and the developer is like this young kid. And when you hear him, when I say young kid, he's like 27, but he sounds like he's 12, and he always sounds like he's smoked a joint, and he's just incredibly high, which is fine. I don't care if people smoke weed and they get high. That's fine. That's their business, right? But don't present yourself as the developer of a cryptocurrency and sound like you're stoned out of your mind. That's not a good look. You want your developer to be sober at some point, right? I'm trying to find some of the tweets. Well, I guess I could search, right? So let me put at Tequila Pete, because he went hard after this guy, like crazy hard. And you guys, this Tequila Pete knows his shit. And I'm trying to get him on the channel because I just think it would be super interesting to hear his take on a lot of these smaller tokens that are super connected. They're all involved together, and they're just a bunch of scams. They're just a bunch of scams. So let me see. And do you guys belong to Certic? If you're not following Certic on Twitter, you should, because they do put out these alerts about different tokens that rug pull and everything. So I know he Twitter blasted this project today. And he called out Saitama V2 for a lot of their contract code that they're using for SATA Pro is the same code that they use for SATA Mask. You know, the one that didn't work? Yeah, like they copy and pasted a lot of it. So what does that tell you? What's up, Green Lantern? I just peeked over. It's been a while since I looked at the comment section, so if I missed anything, I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I just didn't look over here. You stay away from BSC tokens. I hear you. That's what a lot of people say, but there's actually a lot of good tokens that are launching over there because what they're finding is people that live in different countries that they don't have a lot of money. They don't have the money to pay for ERC20 gas fees, but they can afford to buy over on BSC. I feel like BSC has the potential for mass adoption and for making it more inclusive for everyone to be able to afford getting into certain projects. So I hear what you say, but okay, so here's the name here. Okay. I'm just going to read you what Tequila Pete, where's my glasses? Retweeted what Skywalker said, but I don't want to say the name of the project because like I said, I haven't looked into this at all, although the guy is definitely ungrateful and sketchy AF. If you do not want to get scammed, stay away of this project. English not his first language. This individual behaves like a 12-year-old boy and talks like one. Make a new contract without airdropping the previous holders. 100% a scam. And let me see the thread because 46 holders, 29,000 in liquidity. And then Tequila Pete wrote I don't want to say the name of the project. Token is indeed a scam run by a convicted narcotics dealer. His other scam is blackmailed by threatening and performing SMS attacks, which is illegal. He has been reported to the FBI for cybercrimes. Can't wait until they call me. You know what? No, I am going to say the name of the project. You know why? I totally forgot what Nicole told me. Nicole told me, you're not going to believe this. This guy threatened her by saying he was going to call one of those SWAT attacks on her. He was going to bot her phone, which he did. He spammed her phone. He spammed her Twitter, and he was sending her threatening messages saying that he's going to freaking send the SWAT team over to her house. Like, that's bullshit, right? No, you don't do that. So the name of the project is Abyss, The Abyss. It just relaunched because there was a problem with it. So I want to find that, or maybe I'll go to Skywalker because he was really going after this guy. And Skywalker's in a space right now, so I'm sure they're talking about it. Let's see this is an old tweet, but this is another guy who looked at all of the Saitama V2 developer wallets, and he knows that they're dumping, right? Like, they consistently dump every single day. The moment that chart starts to pump, you can see all of the cells coming in from the developer. He's so funny. Where is that? Okay. I am a hacker now. Great Abyss. Go with the BS somewhere else, or I can't. Where is that one where he called him a poo-poo head? It was hilarious. Here we go. This is why I screenshot projects like the Great Abyss. Does not like to be called by what he is, a scammer. Stay away from this project. And it's called the Great Abyss, at the Great Abyss, over on Twitter, of course. Stay away from the project. He acts like a child, calling names, deleting tweets. He has a criminal record, and he's been caught lying several times. Be careful. So he's responding to this guy's tweet. Now, this is the developer of a cryptocurrency that he's saying is a legitimate project. He screenshotted up, the chart and wrote, "Eat dick, you poo-poo head." That's a developer? No. Like, come on. You don't say stuff like that. So he told somebody to eat D, which I don't think is Yep, that's right, Sherry. So he freaking actually did that to Nicole. Like, she was nice enough to help him. Those guys went in and took a look at his contract and they're like, yeah, you know that this is not a DAO. They weren't sure if he knew because he was calling it a DAO, but it wasn't. And he's like, no, well, I know it's not like technically a DAO, but it's, it is a DAO because people can vote. And they're like, yeah, that's different. That's not the same. Like, Cult is an actual DAO. This is not an actual DAO. But yeah. So that's the story. That's the story. So they're going to start getting to the bottom of, and we need this. We need people who are savvy in blockchain, savvy in coding to really get in there and start combing through how all of these wallets are connected and how each one of these projects will automatically spin off and start a new cryptocurrency, a new project right off the bat. Boom. It's like back to back to back to back projects. And they're only there a few days. They're there to get in, you know, the chart pumps and they dump and then they're out and then they're on to the next project. It's all very interconnected. The minute that, let's say, regulations finally do come in, or at least somebody can be exposed, then perhaps we can get law enforcement to step in because these guys, there's no honor amongst thieves. The minute that you arrest one, he's going to start ratting out his little circle of friends so that he can get a better deal when it comes to how much time he spends in prison. And that's how that goes. If you're in with a circle of thieves, who's going to flip first? Because somebody's always going to drop the dime on the rest of the gang. That's why the mafia, they don't like loose ends. They feel like somebody's going to talk. They, get rid of that person because they don't want anybody talking about anything. Like in Goodfellas. Do you remember they were all involved in the Lufthansa? What do they call it? The heist, the Lufthansa heist. They made away with millions of dollars and they wound up, anybody that knew about it or was involved in it, even though they were lifelong friends, their families were all friends and they knew each other their whole lives, start killing one another off. It's crazy. No honor amongst thieves. So that's it. That's the situation. So let's look how crypto.com is doing because I keep just buying the hell out of crypto.com. It's the right thing to do, people. It's the only thing to do because that thing, let me tell you something, that coin is going to be the big hope of the future. When you're thinking about something that's inexpensive that you can get into and you don't need a whole lot of money to get into it because look at it, it's only 13 cents right now. I mean, it got as low, I think is like 11, maybe even 10. Yeah, a little over 10 cents. The potential for that is crazy. If you're not buying at least 10 bucks every week of crypto.com, you're nuts. And people, if you can afford more than 10 bucks a week, you should do that because let's remember. Do you remember where Binance was? Binance was once in the realm of this. And Binance at its all-time high got up to almost $500 for a BNB. Can you imagine the day when crypto.com makes it to just a few dollars a crow? We'll be loaded if we just keep consistently dollar cost averaging into that particular coin. It's going to be amazing. The thing, though, that is concerning, and we always say this here: not your keys, not your coins. If you have these on a platform, what's going to happen if that shuts down? Right? Like, is there an issue with crypto.com? Could it shut down? What's going on? Could it run out of money? And here's my response to that. Okay. Why this is different than Voyager and how it's the same as Voyager, where yes, everything is the same thing as that. Not your keys, not your coins. Everything has the potential of shutting down, right? Everything that can happen. But do you know what I like about crypto.com? A few months ago, and this is what caused like one of the big main dips with the Crow coin when it came down. I think it lost like 15% in one day. A few months ago, before the economy started to get really bad, and it's still really bad, it's going to get even worse. They said right up front, listen, we are going to have to start to trim back some of the APY that we're giving to you for staking on the platform. Everybody cried and screamed. They kicked and screamed. People dumped some of their tokens and, acted like lunatics. What would you rather them do? Would you rather them continue business with those high APYs and start paying out fees that they can't really afford and get into debt and do what Celsius did or do what Voyager did or do what Three Arrows Capital did? Or would you rather them grab the bull by the horns and say, listen, hey, we're checking our books and we need to make changes to be sustainable in the long run? So I appreciated that crypto.com did that. People were not happy about it. They threw fits. But these are people that, when you see something happening with your company, you've got to take action. Get right in there and start taking action right away. You can't just push things aside and hope for a better day. Crypto.com could have been like, well, you know what, we'll just kind of go with it until the market has the upswing and then it'll all be better. They could have done that, but they would have incurred more debt. Instead, they dealt with it. They did what they had to do. They pivoted. And I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay. But then again, you never know because they do offer APYs. And as we know, somebody's got to pay the APY. Now, they do make a crap ton of fees. If you do not have your checking account linked to them, they're like Coinbase. They hit you with an astronomical fee. Now, you can have I don't know why it's different, but your debit card is linked to your checking account. But if you have your checking account as the setup, they don't hit you with these huge fees like they do if you run your debit card through it. And I don't know why. I guess that's just the way. I'm worried about Coinbase, so I moved out of that exchange. Only matter of time when they file Chapter 11, Tammy. Okay, well, you heard it from John Patrick 007 himself here. He's thinking that Coinbase could be in some trouble. Of course, we have been hearing whispers that there have been some things, mass layoffs, things that are not going right, perhaps a whistleblower talking about Coinbase. And if that is indeed true, I don't know who the hell is running Coinbase, but they suck because they charge so much for trades that it's crazy. And maybe that's the issue. Maybe people are like, you know what, their fees are just entirely too high. I'm going somewhere else. If you buy $10, like, there's certain things that I DCA into, and I would consistently on a weekly basis buy 10 of these particular tokens or coins, and I would just spend $100 a week on these 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And I wasn't paying attention to what the fees were. And it was like $3. Every time I went to go buy the $10 worth of something, it would be a $3 fee. So that's why I changed over from the debit card to the actual number that's linked to the checking account with the routing number and everything. And it's not that less expensive. I'm saving about $1, but my gosh, to buy $10 of anything, you're charging $3. So number one, maybe people are using a different exchange because it's entirely they're charging too much. And maybe cryptocurrency, because the whole market is down in general, maybe they're not making what they once made in fees. Not everyone's buying crypto, although now is the time to buy. If you're going to start buying anything, now's the time to buy. Not your whole bag. Like I always say, DCA a little bit at a time because, the market will probably continue to go down. And when you hit the floor is where you want to begin to add your bigger investment. The lower the price you're getting in, the more profitable you're going to be in the future. And legit. we're so early though. And I always say this. I know it doesn't feel like we're early because when you look at coins like Bitcoin and how it already hit almost $70,000, it feels like we got here so late. You know, we got here so late, but we're still early. So don't feel like, you know, we still have big opportunities there with Bitcoin because even though is older technology, it's been hacked a couple of times, I still see it as a blue chip investment. It's going to be around for the long run because too many of these bigger enterprises hold it on their balance sheets. And if it's one thing that they're really good at, it's preserving their wealth and preserving the reputation of their assets. So I see Bitcoin sticking around for a long, long time. But that freaking MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, oof, like that guy, I don't know when because he borrowed a lot of money to buy more Bitcoin at the top. He completely over leveraged himself. So he really doubled down on Bitcoin way, way, way at the top. Because remember, he was saying, we're going to 100,000 with Bitcoin. This is a sure thing. We're going to 100,000. So he over leveraged himself, borrowing more money because he believed it to be going to 100,000. What happens? It does a complete reversal and comes down. We see it touch down in the teens. It's kind of like nestled now in the low 20s. But at what point do his existing Bitcoin get liquidated because you have a margin call to meet? And all of MicroStrategy, just so you know, is the biggest holder of Bitcoin. That's Michael Saylor's company. They're like the biggest holder of Bitcoin. It's not Elon Musk. It's not Facebook. It's not Apple. It's MicroStrategy. And if his Bitcoin should be liquidated and hit the market, that's going to be a lot of Bitcoin hitting the market all at once. The market is going to be completely oversaturated, and you are going to see that price come down like fast. Maddie. And Kathy Woods is a sea hag that got lucky. Sometimes luck is luck though, right? Like I've made a couple of investments that I got very lucky on. Was able to get in and out and made a lot of money. Saitama V3, not one of them. Because like I said, at this point, my wallet is so public. Anything I do, people have eyes on it. They're watching, they're looking. So, I got to stay cool with that, what I got going on that MetaMask wallet. But I do appreciate the fact that John has told everybody his concern about Coinbase. So you might consider, and this is just, how I feel about this situation. It is so expensive to, after you've paid all of these fees to Coinbase to even buy those freaking tokens, go transfer them off that platform and see what you get hit with. I remember when I transferred my Saitama out of Bitmart into SataMask, it was I wanted to see how SataMask worked. Bitmart took 30% of my Saitama tokens and kept them for themselves. That's the fees you're looking to incur when you move tokens around. You don't just get to send your tokens off the platforms and then that's that. No, they keep a big chunk of your tokens. So just know that. So it might be, depending on where you're moving them to, like maybe just like a MetaMask or a Trust Wallet, wherever you're going to move them, maybe it would be more beneficial to, and I did this with Gate.io, when they stopped trading in United States and Canada, instead of individually selling all of those different tokens and having to transfer them out one by one, there's one button that you can hit that says liquidate, and it sells everything that you hold. This way, you're just holding one lump sum of Ethereum and you can just send it out that way. This way, you get hit with just the one fee. and then put that in your wallet. But if you go to replace the tokens now that you've sold, now you've got to spend extra gas fees and transaction fees to get that to go through. But what you need to do that, oh, Crypto Lotto Group with all of the super chats tonight. Thank you so much, Eugene. Man, I think he's hit me with like $100 probably. I find it funny when people say Coinbase is next. Today, I read the prior quarter's financial statement and looks decent. Well, we heard it from Eugene, waiting for their second quarters where Binance audited financial statements. I will wait. Well, CZ, he's slick like that. He's not going to let people know his business. Bitmart, you have to transfer with ADA for cheaper price. Thank you, Maddie. Sherry said thank you to you too, Eugene. So yeah, true story. So Gate.io, I just did the whole liquidate button and then I just transferred out and then that was that. I can't remember where I sent the money. Doesn't matter. Because I did have a bunch of crap in that Gate.io wallet. I had just a bunch of crap, really. Well, I had Saitama and I had freaking SafeMoon. SafeMoon in that wallet. SafeMoon is worthless. I don't even know how much money I spent on SafeMoon. At least $1,000. SafeMoon buying dips. And then they did the V2 and it seemed like, it should have, when they launched V2, it should have been at least the equal amount of what V1 was, but it seemed like it was not. It seemed like I lost like 50% of my bag right off. It really did. Yeah, that's another thing about Coinbase. Like, they have a stock, right? They don't have a cryptocurrency. Coinbase is a publicly traded company and they are highly scrutinized. Does foreign exchange like Binance have similar standards? No. But John's sticking to his gun. He's like I said, only a matter of time. So we'll have to see eventually which one of you gents is right. Maybe we'll have a little debate night over here on the Crypto Queen channel and all of you guys can come on. I can mediate, have a little bit of a debate and decide who's going to be right. Everybody can put forth their argument and we can say which one we think is better. But I do understand what John Patrick is saying because, and I understand what Eugene is saying, devil's advocate here. Yes, they are publicly traded, so they do have to be transparent, but there's other publicly traded companies that have gone to shit too, right? So, all right, guys. Well, you know what? I'm getting tired and it's getting kind of late. It's like it's after 1. My neighbor probably hates me. Poor thing, she's trying to sleep. Although she's a teacher, she got the summer off. I thank you so much for joining me, Maddie, Sherry. You guys are always the best. Mamads, thank you very much. Eugene, thank you again so much. Crypto Lotto Group, everybody. If you're interested in playing in the big lotteries, whether that's Win for Life, Cash for Life, Mega Millions, all of those big games. There's another one. I'm sure I messed up one of the names. If you invest in his token, okay, you buy some of his token, and what he does every week, he goes out and he buys Mega Millions, Cash for Life, Powerball. There they are. That's the names of them. Goes out and buys the tickets. Okay. Then he has a YouTube channel where you go and he literally shows all of the tickets that he bought. So you can keep track of the numbers. And when the lottery goes off, if any of those tickets have winnings, you get to partake in the winnings. Can you imagine if you're part of the Crypto Lotto Group and they hit the Mega Millions? You're good. You're a billionaire. Just remember the Crypto Queen if that should happen. Well, that's going to do it here for me today. I thank everybody for joining me. It was a nice day because, like I said, today is technically it was yesterday. It was the 2-year anniversary that my mother had passed away. And although on her obituary it says July 20th, because she had passed away, it was like 11:30 at night, and it was hospice at home. So we had to wait for the person to come to the home and declare her deceased. So they didn't get there until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So that, was, so that's why her obituary says the 20th, but it was the 19th. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been 2 years. That's insane. 2 years. Well, that's going to do it here for me, guys. I thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, remember, try to only buy on those red candles. Take care of yourself.